Listen very carefully to what is happening right now. This is critical. Nobody is actually arguing with Candace Owens right now. What they are trying to do is to shut her up and box her in and define her before you even listen. And they want to scare you away from hearing her out because she's crazy. She's nuts. She doesn't know what she's talking about. And if that doesn't immediately set off alarms, which I know it does, but if it doesn't, then nothing will. If she were wrong, if she were just sloppy, if she were making these things up, the smartest move for anybody else would be to just let her talk. Let it collapse on its own. Let it destroy her. Don't get out of the way. If she's somebody that is in your way, let her self-destruct. Because bad ideas do not survive inspection and daylight and review. But that's not what's happening here. Why? Why? If she were just nobody of importance and she were really wrong and really vile and just making everything up, but if she wasn't big, nobody'd say anything. Nobody'd even care. There are people right now on the internet, as it were, who are bona fide lunatics and dangerous and hateful and anti-everything. But nobody cares about them because they're not big. And nobody's jealous of them. Because what is happening right now is this kind of this urgency, this coordination, this moral outrage. Labels being thrown around like bricks. And an almost frantic need to get ahead of her words, to shut her down before they land, before you notice. And that tells you far more than any monologue ever could. And that's what TPUSA and Erica Kirk and all the loud detractors are missing. There is a growing group of people who are no longer impressed by spectacle and no longer hypnotized by branding and no longer believe the nonsense and the tripe and the bunkum and the pablum and the anodyne crap. No longer willing to outsource their judgment to institutions like others. Here, you take care of this. These folks, these organizations that demand loyalty but never earn trust. And the idea that, don't say anything. Don't say anything about Erica. She's a widow. Shh, can't say anything. That's over with. That's done. And TPUSA, this vaunted, lauded, bulletproof organization. Are you kidding? That's done. These aren't radicals or extremists or basement dwellers. These are people who have lived through enough lies, you and me included, to recognize the smell and the stench and the putrid, rank, the odoriferous blech of deception and lies and labeling. Because they were afraid of us. Remember, the left wants to keep you from saying things, but the right wants to keep you from thinking things. You see, you've lived through being told that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. You've lived through being told that Russiagate was real. You've been fed lies about NATO, about Zelensky, about the Middle East, about Vietnam, about Watergate, about COVID, about masks, about everything. You have been through everything. You've lived through being told that Joe Biden was sharp as a marble and focused. You lived through being told that lockdowns were temporary. This is good. Masks work. 6-foot rule works. Isolating in place, or whatever the hell you want to call it. You were told that shots stopped the transmission of vile viruses. And dissent was dangerous, you were told us. Trust this science. Trust. Don't be an election denier. Be good. Be contained. Shut up. Right? And every single time the people who questioned early were mocked or smeared or silenced until time proved them right, it happened. Everybody who complained was right. The people who were saying, wait a minute, hold it, were right. Have you ever heard anyone, ever in the history of your own life, that was ever correct who first told you, stop thinking, stop talking about it, stop reviewing the facts? Never. So when those same tactics come out again, the same language, the same moral panic, the same accusations of being hateful or lazy or crazy or irresponsible, people don't flinch anymore. They don't even react. They lean in. See, that's the problem for the people trying to shut Candace down. And they want to shut her down. They want to arrest her. They want her to be labeled as some kind of a nut. Don't be surprised if they do a welfare check. If all of a sudden something bad happens to her, or maybe her family is concerned, maybe an overdose, or you would not believe anything I tell you right now. Anything is not beyond the realm of reason with these people. Anything. She scares them that bad. And they don't know. They keep getting away. They get away with murder, literally. They still are telling you that Epstein offed himself. They still haven't gotten to the bottom of who's really trying to kill the president. They don't care about this. Assassinations you're used to. See, they're using tools that no longer work on an audience like us that has learned the pattern. See, they think you're stupid. And here is the pattern. Here's the way it goes. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. When an organization or a group feels confident, it debates. When it feels threatened, it polices. When it has substance, it argues. It says, come on, let's go through this, give and take. When it loses substance, it performs. It tells people to shut up, shut down, sit down, if you know what's good for you. When it trusts its audience, it opens the floor. That's the way dialogue works. That's the way universities work, theoretically. That's the way pedagogy and education work. But when it fears its audience, it manages perception, and it manages them, and it tells them to shut up. What you are seeing right now is not confidence in the least. It's anything but. It's containment. And they're getting all these other people lined up to help, to shut. I can't believe it. They're going to Candace's, theoretically, her compatriots, to tell her to shut up. And all of this could have been avoided very, very easily. Very, very easily. They could have just, as I've been telling you since day one, ignored Candace. Ignore her. They could have let her talk, let her make her case, let people decide, let bad claims die quietly, if they were bad. But they could not do that because silence would have implied, at least to them, trust in the audience. And you don't want that. See, because trust is the one thing centralized movements never actually have. Instead, these people choose escalation, and escalation always widens the lens. And now people are not just listening to Candace. They are reevaluating the entire machine. Who are these people? Are they deep state? Are they shadow government? Are they big tech? Who is this? And who are the people that we thought, these social media commentators, that we thought were on our side? That we thought basically encouraged our thinking? Who are they? See, this is an incredible thing, They are asking why this person is treated as radioactive while others get endless grace, endless support, endless excuse. Go ahead, no problem. They're asking why donor-aligned voices, don't forget it's all about donating, or doning. Some voices are protected while inconvenient ones are exiled. Why is that? They're asking why debates are replaced with declarations, absolute declarations, and why questions are treated like crimes. See, this is where the gaslighting begins. This is where people are told nothing unusual is happening, that the outrage is organic, that the response is justified. Hey, don't look at us. It's regular people. It's her peers. We're not doing this. Look. You've got Laura Loomer and Alex Jones. See, you've got a lot of people coming out. Megyn Kelly. I'm not even sure what Megyn Kelly is talking about. You got Tim Pool saying this about, who knows. But they will use a lot of them who were paid off. You know how that works. See, anyone who notices the coordination, they say is paranoid. And that questioning motives, that's just immoral. That's just wrong. See, that's the moment the spell breaks. See, regular people do not need some kind of a report or some white paper finding to know when something feels off. And they can feel when grief looks staged. Take even Erica Kirk. Can you honestly tell me that her reactions never once made you think, is she for real? Did her outrage ever feel kind of transactional, performative? Did her messaging ever sound rehearsed? And when this collective unity feels enforced rather than earned, don't you think something's up? Candace Owens didn't invent that feeling. Candace Owens didn't tell Erica Kirk how to come out and do all those shows on one day. That was ridiculous. And nobody wants to say it. But with Erica Kirk, people look at each other. So did you see Erica Kirk? Yeah. Well, what'd you think? Because people are afraid. My God, it's un-American to say anything about Saint Erica. You can't say anything. You can't say that her reactions, were even this started after a while. This looks, I can't tell one from the other. The eyes, the glares, the reactions. Nicki Minaj? What? And you see, my friend, all of this, that is why the response to her is so aggressive. Candace, because power can survive criticism, but it can't survive curiosity. Curiosity that it doesn't control. And there is a small but a significant cadre of analysts and commentators and everyday media consumers, and that number is growing. Those who see right through this, and they are not loud in the way social media rewards, but they're influential in the way that matters. They talk to friends. They influence families. They shape private conversations. And once that layer turns skeptical, there's no press release on earth that can reverse it. Sorry. You're going to need a lot more Laura Loomers and Alex Jones and Tim Pools or Ben Shapiro's or whoever it is. These people understand something that terrifies these institutions. Attention is no longer captive. Trust is no longer automatic. And the authority that we're talking about must now justify itself every single day. The old model assumed gatekeepers could kind of shape reality and what's okay to discuss by controlling access and who gets booked and who gets promoted and who gets smeared and who gets ignored. Well, that era is over. And every attempt to enforce it just exposes how pathetically and obviously desperate they are, and how the enforcement has become absolutely off the rails. And that's why trying to paint Candace Owens as uniquely dangerous backfires. It's gaslighting. We can see it 100%. We know what's going on. It forces neutral observers to ask why her, why now, why this level of reaction. And the answer is not that she is persuasive. The answer is that she's disruptive. She disrupts the idea that there is one approved lane. She destroys the donor to influencer audience pipeline. Because remember, you don't know how the donors, this is where this all started with Charlie. Losing donors. This is when it all came apart. No money, no message, no ticky, no washi, it's over. And Candace disrupts the unspoken rules about what topics are negotiable, discussable, and what aren't. Which ones are off limits? Well, none are off limits. She disrupts the hierarchy, and hierarchies always respond to disruption. How? By claiming moral authority. We know better. This is not about one event or one organization. It's about a broader shift that is happening, whether anyone likes it or not. And this is not just about Candace Owens or TPUSA. It's about the whole world of opinion. Conservative media are splitting between those who want institutional respectability at any cost and those who are willing to risk exile to keep asking uncomfortable questions. Guess which one we're in? See, that split is permanent. You can see it in who gets attacked, who gets protected, and who is allowed complexity, and who is reduced to a caricature, and who was forgiven endlessly, and those who ask who is destroyed instantly. Candace became the lightning rod. I don't know why. I still don't know why. What was she asking that was that crazy? I mean, we're all supposed to be heartbroken about Charlie. As when she first saying, I want to look at the actual tapes, at the recording. Oh, no, tapes, the recordings. I want to see the data. I want to see the evidence. Oh, no. Couldn't believe it. Erica, did you ever see Erica demand information? Just like you never see the Kennedys. You never see the royal family ever say, who was responsible for the death of Princess Di? See, this is something which is important. Candace became the lightning rod because she refused to play the role that was assigned to her. And she refused to quietly disappear and go away. She refused to accept the terms of debate. And that alone makes her intolerable to a system that depends on compliance. And here is the part they still don't understand. Every attempt to shut her down, to defame her, to slur, to destroy her name, teaches the audience how the system works. Every pile-on reveals coordination. Every smear reveals more insecurity. And every overreaction confirms that something very dangerous is being guarded. You see, you can't bully people into unseeing that. The harder they squeeze, the more they reveal their grip. And what comes next is predictable. The attacks will escalate. The language will get much uglier. The accusations will broaden. And some people will retreat to protect their careers, and others will double down to protect their brands. And a lot of ordinary folks, ordinary viewers, regular viewers, will simply walk away because once people see the strings, being pulled, they stop applauding the puppet show, the sock puppets. They say, this is the quiet part nobody in charge wants to say out loud. Movements do not die when they are opposed. They die when they are exposed, when people realize that the performance matters more than the principles, and the donors matter more than the audience. When that happens, it's over. And the irony, the ultimate irony, is that Candace Owens didn't win because she shouted louder. She won and is winning because the reaction to her said more than anything she could have scripted. So here is my message to you, my friend. And it's not a dramatic call. It's not revolutionary. It is basic and it is powerful. Do not let anyone tell you who you are allowed to listen to. Watch the clips yourself. Read the receipts, so to speak. Ask the questions they tell you not to ask. Compare what people say to what they do. And who benefits either way. Cui bono, qui prodest. Support independent voices who are willing to take heat instead of applause. Stop rewarding staged outrage with your attention and your money. Demand real debates instead of these choreographed spectacles. And by the way, talk to people offline where labels don't work as well. Because the fastest way to collapse a fake movement, the fastest way, is not to scream at all. It's to stop clapping. To stop clapping once you see the strings. And to help others see them too. Be ready for them to do some pretty nasty stuff too. To Candace, nasty stuff, horrible stuff. They will stop at nothing. Because what they're doing is they're making her sound crazy. So anything that happens to her will merely be a part of the myth of the crazy that they've established. If all of a sudden something bad happens, if there's, I don't want to go into any suggestions of Epstein or kind of calls for welfare check. People say, she's not acting right. The gaslight. It's like almost, you notice what they're doing now with this Rob Reiner's kid. He's crazy. He's been crazy the whole time. Why now? Well, they're building up a defense. Stalin did this. Candace Owens is anything but crazy. If anything happens, you know how people used to always say, if anything happens to me, well, listen, I'm dead serious about this. If she can turn, if the thing is, let me just finish with this. It's not so much this. The powers that be, the bad guys, the black hats, don't want anybody to get big at all. And if she is allowed to get big, that means they're not in control. And they don't control the narrative. I want to thank you for this. You've been great. You have been phenomenal. Thank you for watching this all the way through. Do me a favor as well. Please like this video. You know the metrics. Subscribe to our channel. I want you also to do me a favor too. It means a lot to me. My beloved wife runs Lynn's Warriors. Check her out on YouTube at Lynn's Warriors. It is the most important issue, probably bar none, the protection of our children. Dealing with AI, dealing with online and digital predation. And she is being hit with, a roadblock like you can't believe. The biggest lobby in the world is big tech. And AI is an existential threat. Please follow her at Lynn's Warriors. It would mean the world to me if you did. Because like me, we're in this for the long run. We're in this not for fun, not for the glamour, but for the message. Because we're not going to back down. Nobody can scare us. I've been doing this a long time. I'm a former prosecutor, lawyer. I've been around doing this since 1988. I've seen this stuff before. I know all the tricks. And the bottom line is this. Once you stop, once you give in, it's over. So thank you, my friends. Please, I've got some questions for you to answer in the section of the comments section as I beseech, entreat, and import you to comment as you see fit.